What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project XTalk, an Xbox podcast episode number 108, presented by Save the Game Media. I'm your host, Kevin, and I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Physical Copy himself, Ethan. How you doing?
Shout out to Taylor Swift. She's first musician in history to be the top 10, like literally the top 10 Billboard songs. All of them are from her new album, 1
Oh,
through
that's
10. And then like 14, 15, 16 are also. It's kind of nuts. Her new album slaps. Go check it out, my fellow Swifties. But I'm doing good, Kevin. I'm trying to get back into drinking tea. It's healthy. I hear it's healthy. To me, it just tastes like hot water, but people are telling me it's good for you. So here I am drinking tea, listening to Taylor Swift. It can't get any better than this, Kevin. How are you, man?
you have named right off the bat. You're
Yeah,
going in with two things that I do not enjoy.
right. Yeah,
Tea, disgusting. Hot
yeah.
drinks in general, disgusting.
Okay.
Taylor Swift too, though.
Oh, hold
What?
on, Kevin.
What?
You thought the Minecraft kids were bad. You better watch out for the Swifties. You better watch what you say right now. I'm telling you, they're gonna come for you,
The Taylor Swift brigade can come for me, okay? My
Kevin.
right here,
Swifties,
Swifties.
Swifties. Thank
Right
you.
here. This is where you just tweet me. Okay.
You heard them, folks. Go get them.
For audio listeners, I was pointing to the box where it says my social
Yeah, yeah,
media.
yeah.
I I like very few Taylor Swift songs. Like
So, do you
very
like
few.
her back in her old stuff when she was a little more country, or do you like some of her
Oh,
more poppy stuff? You don't care for the country,
absolutely
yeah? I
not.
didn't think
Absolutely
so.
not the country stuff. Her more poppy stuff is where,
Hmm.
but like I remember she first of all, she's putting out far too many albums lately.
What are
Far
you
too.
talking
She put
about?
out like 2 albums during the pandemic. That's too many albums. Objectively, too many albums.
I don't even remember what her last album was called. So let me
She
look
had
this
one
up
like
because
about folk songs. It was so boring.
nobody cares about folk music. All right, that didn't count. This one though is a bop, Kevin. I encourage you to go check it out.
She she put an album out in 2019,
Okay,
2020. Then she put a re-release in 2021, and now she has 2022. Too many
she's taking
albums,
the Call of
Taylor.
Duty approach.
Too many albums.
But Kevin, they're all good. Like she's top 10 in her fourth year in a row dropping an album. Top 10 every
I,
single song.
yeah, I saw that. I saw the statistic. Okay, she beat Drake. All right, not an accomplishment. Drake's ass too. Mute.
Kevin,
Uh,
you need to stop. I don't want to get canceled along with you, okay?
the only thing Drake did well was be on Degrassi. All right,
Oh my gosh.
he ain't a good rapper. I'm sorry, he just ain't a good rapper. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Believe it or not, this is an Xbox podcast where we talk
Oh.
about video games and not our favorite pop stars. So, if you like that, we are live every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time right here on YouTube. If you can't catch us live, we post every Friday morning on your favorite podcast service. While you're over there, please drop us a review, rating, whether that's Apple, Spotify. We appreciate it. Helps the algorithm, helps this show grow, which we have been doing recently. I want to give a shout out to all the new listeners. I see you. I recognize. Thank you so much.
Well, those shorts helping us out.
If you want to interact with us, please come join the Discord. The link is down in the description below. Chatting games, sports, movies, anything you want to talk about. And Extra Life 2022. This is the last time I can give you this specific plug because tomorrow, Friday, or if you're listening to this on audio, like many of you are, I will be on my way to Rome, New York to meet up with Taylor, the host of our No Limits PlayStation podcast, and Sean Capri and Mr. Badbit, aka Joe, and Kyle from the Trophy Room for the Carpool Cross Save the Game Media Cross
Ooh.
Trophy Room Extra Life stream. 25 hours. It's gonna be live on our channel, Carpool's channel. And the Twitch channel for the Trophy Room, I believe, is where they're streaming over there. But we are raising money for sick children. We are giving away tons and tons of prizes. You can still get your donations in. Every $10 gets you a chance at winning things like God of War Collector's Edition, another digital copy of that. 1,000 games Carpool Gaming is giving away. You can win a year of Game Pass Ultimate. You can get on Sean Capri's family plan for the Nintendo. He's got some spots open. And just announce if we get to our goal of 5,000, which we're at 3,300, I believe.
Wow.
So if we can get to our goal of
Easy.
$5,000, yeah, I think we can easily do it with your support, guys.
Easy.
Sean Capri has agreed to change his profile picture on Twitter for 6 months to Jar Jar Binks, and Mr. Badbit is going to shave his head and dress up as Kratos from God of
Oh,
War for the
that's
next
awesome.
trophy room episode. So
Oh, that's so cool.
if that sounds good to you, please donate. That link is in the description down below. Thank everyone for supporting. We are doing this for community member Marcus O'Neill's son, Miles. We're raising money for the hospital he goes to and other sick children. This will benefit them. So really would appreciate any support. And next week, you won't hear me ask you for more money. So thank you.
Do we have any insight on what games you guys? I know there's going to be a Smash tourney, some other stuff going on. Do you guys know what you're filling in for those 25 hours?
Yes, kind of. We have a games list. Okay, so there's gonna be some Halo. There's gonna be some Fall Guys. There's gonna be probably some. We're trying to focus on couch co-op stuff. So probably some Mario Strikers, Shredder's Revenge.
Oh, you're gonna love that.
Yeah, the only actually it'll probably be good in person. It just sucks. No, so we've got a whole list of games. It's gonna be a really good time. If people want to join during the 25-hour live stream, depending on what game we're playing, there might be spots like Fall Guys or whatever.
Fall Guys?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
But stay tuned. It'll be live 10 a.m. Eastern time right here on Save the Game Media's YouTube channel. You can watch it and everyone will be there. It'll be a good time. But if you'd like to support us further, head on over to patreon.com/save the game media. Choose the tier that's right for you, like our current Patreon supporters: Bucky Blue, Hopple, Alpaca Tom, Amon, SAZ, Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Brianna's wife, Anna Hudock, Nikolai at Night, Cypher, Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, and our newest patron, Always B. Thank you for your support. We appreciate every single one of you. And Ethan, now that we got housekeeping out of the way, we're going to start by asking one simple question. And that question is, what you been playing?
All right. Modern Warfare 2. I'm going to jump right out the gates with this. The best Call of Duty campaign that I played in a very, very long time. I would argue since the original Modern Warfare 2. And before people start accusing me, oh, you're just nostalgic fanboyism, it's completely different. It has the same characters, but it's a completely different storyline. The multiplayer is completely different. Different guns, different maps. This isn't a remake or a remaster of Modern Warfare 2. This is a reimagining. I think that's another word that we can use in the game industry for a game that's coming out like this. But it's incredibly fun. The multiplayer is really fun. I've been playing a lot of ground war, working on my sniping skills. I'm getting better once I get back into the groove of things. So that's been a blast. The campaign is really fun. I beat it in about 3 different sessions. Those sessions ran a little long, so it'll probably be more for other people. But you have all your classic characters. You got Soap, you got Ghost, and it's just awesome to have those characters back because they were pretty much the peak of Call of Duty, at least for me, and I think for a lot of players. And it's just really exciting to see a brand new story surrounding those characters and meeting new characters along the way. And I think the campaign's really well done. There's a lot of variety in gameplay. There's like survival areas, sniping, Overwatch missions like in the C-130. There's stealth missions, there's action missions, there's so much different stuff to do in this campaign. And I'm even thinking about going back and replaying some levels just because they were so cinematic and exciting to play through the first time. I can't imagine that they're going to be a bad experience another time through. And also, I want to go back for some achievements because the achievement list on this game is awesome, Kevin. This isn't just, oh, play the game and you get half the achievements. No, pretty much every achievement is tied to doing like specific tasks within the levels, but it's like fun. Like most of them are like goofy and fun, or like shoot a guy in a porta potty before Soap does, or something like that. Like little things like that. It's just a lot of goofy stuff. Some of it's like stealth based, like don't get caught in the first 4 minutes of this game, or don't get caught here. Some of it's skill based like that, which I'm fine with. I can grind out some of those. But the achievement list looks like it's going to be fun to go through. But right now I've been sinking my teeth into the multiplayer. So really happy with this release. This is the first time I've been in the Call of Duty ecosystem, like fully in on it, since I would say Black Ops 2, which was, I feel like, over a decade ago at this point. if I remember correctly. Black Ops 2?
Something like that. Yeah, I think it was because Ghost was 2013, 14.
Yeah.
And wasn't it before that? When did Black Ops 2
I
come
think
out?
Black Ops 2, and then it was Ghosts, and then it was Black Ops 3, then it was like
2012. Yeah, a decade ago.
2012. Okay. Yeah. So damn, it's been a while. I've dabbled in Cold War and Vanguard trying to get back into it, but it's never really hooked me. But Modern Warfare 2 definitely got its talents. I mean, that's really cool. I love it. I love being back in the ecosystem. The next game I've been playing is The Legend of. Did I forget the name of the game, Kevin? The Legend.
Tyranding, is that what it is?
Tianding.
Tianding.
Yeah, The Legend of Tianding. This is a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up game. It's sort of styled like a comic book where you're actually like running through the comic book strips. You don't see the whole comic book, but that's kind of just generally what it is. It's like a comic book art style mixed with kind of a Chinese art style and an anime art style kind of wrapped up into one. It takes place in Taiwan at the turn of the century, the 1800s to the 1900s turn of the century, not this most recent one. And it's basically you're in occupied Taiwan, which for those of you that don't know, Japan occupied Taiwan for decades back during that time period. And you're kind of a thief, like a Robin Hood type character that's trying to sort of liberate Taiwan from the Japanese occupiers because they're being brutal, you know, sending their military police to like suppress civilians and beat up homeless people and stuff like that. So you're trying to open up this tomb to kind of distribute a bunch of wealth to people, and all the while you got to fight these government guys and these big businessmen working with the Japanese government. But it's just a really classic, fun 2D beat 'em up game. I mean, if you were a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge, which I very much so was, this game's right for you. There's about like 6 dungeons that you delve in. There's lots of secret areas that you can find chests. There's collectibles, 145 collectibles throughout the entire game that you can find. And what's cool about the collectibles is that each one you find gives you some sort of a buff. So like if you find this stamp from this government official, it'll give you like plus 5% coins dropped when you break pots or something like that. Like each collectible you find, you actually get a little thing to read, learn about a little bit of history, and then it gives you a buff for it. So you kind of have an incentive to go out and find these collectibles and try and find the secret areas within the level. Traversal's really fun. You get to use like a slingshot to grapple on certain areas and try and get over spike traps or like fire traps or like poison pits or something like that. There's lots of different enemy types. It's just been a really good time. I'm on the final boss fight right now. I got it paused. It's really hard.
Wow.
It's really hard. Like the final boss fight is difficult as hell.
How long is it?
So how long to beat pegs it at about 6 hours.
Okay, not too bad.
I would say 4 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think it's going to take me 6 hours, but the final boss fight is extremely difficult. So we'll see how much longer it takes for me to beat him, or at least I'm having a hard time with it. I could just be bad. You know, that's also the option there. But so far the battles have seemed pretty even. Like it's pretty well balanced, I think. Especially the boss battles have been really fun too. Each new boss is unique. They have their own mechanics, their own attacks. You kind of see a pattern going there, and you get different objects within the little arena that you're in during the boss battle to sort of use, whether it be your grapple hook or once you get the double jump, you can kind of jump off of walls and do like wall jumps and stuff. So each arena is kind of set up differently for you to utilize different ways to traverse around that character and dodge their attacks, which is really cool. So I'm having a blast with it.
Sorry, Court Lalonde trolling me in the chat here.
We're just a bunch of Xbots here. It's okay.
Yeah, we could do. You know, Court, he moved over. He's on a PlayStation show. You know, he thinks I reviewed God of War Ragnarok. Love you, Court. No, so what I've been playing this week, I will start with the quick things. I have jumped into Persona 5 Royal.
Okay.
I have barely made anything. I literally haven't done anything.
Okay.
I got Arsene, which I think is about where you got to, judging by your achievement, because you popped the only one. I just wasn't feeling like great.
You've already completed this game twice. It's like 100-hour video. Once. Okay, I keep thinking you did it twice.
But I did go back and get my Plague Tale Requiem 100%.
I saw that.
So I needed needed the secret chests. I thought I knew what 3 I needed. I knew 2 of the 3, it turns out.
Oh,
So
so you didn't need to replay the whole thing and get them all in one playthrough.
no, I went back to my old save file and used chapter select. And the chapter select in this game is way better than the first one because you can go down to the subsection,
Yes, I love that about
which
it.
is phenomenal.
Mhm.
So I knew the 2 and I knew right where they were that I need 2 out of the 3 I needed. And then the third one that I thought I needed, turns out I didn't need that one. So then I'm sitting here, I'm like, what one didn't I get?
Yeah.
Turns out it was in chapter 4. I loaded up chapter 4 of the subsection, and the chest is staring you in the face as
Really?
soon as you load it up. So I was like, popped it. I was like, great, done with this game. Phenomenal. Still my game of the year. And let's see if Ragnarok beats it. Considering these reviews,
Oh, they're nuts.
I cannot wait to play God of War Ragnarok.
Real quick on Requiem, I want to something that is annoying about this game to me that some game developers just haven't figured out yet. Why do I need to basically create a new save if I want to go back and do chapters? Why do I need to duplicate my full save file and so that I can like replay a mission? Because every time you replay a mission, it's like, oh, it'll get rid of all the progress. You know what I'm talking about? With Requiem, you can't just hop back into a chapter. You basically have to
Well,
restart.
you can when you beat the game.
Yeah, when you beat the game, but it still erases all the stuff up forward of that point that you reload into. So I had to like duplicate my save that was fully completed and then do another one so that I could like go into chapter select.
I'm not sure what so I have 2 files on my Xbox right now. I have
Right.
my original playthrough, which is
Yeah.
through chapter 17, and then I have my new game plus playthrough.
Mhm.
And that is up to like 12 or something. I didn't finish New Game Plus because I got all the achievements. I don't need to. So
Yeah.
when I wanted to get these chests, I just went to my old save file, went to chapter select, and then just chose the chapter I wanted. It didn't matter. Like, it didn't get rid of anything. All 17 chapters are still accessible to me. It just, if you're in the middle of a chapter, it says you'll lose your progress for that chapter. But I've done all 17, so I'm not losing anything.
Okay. That might have been a self-imposed thing on me then that I misunderstood.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay, so I talked about that. The other game I gotta talk about, and this is the game I couldn't talk about last week. The embargo's up as of yesterday, though, or yeah, yesterday morning the embargo dropped. My review is up on the channel. It's up on all audio feeds for the Entropy Center. Thank you to PlayStacks, W Games, and Evolve PR for sending us the code for this game. This game was phenomenal. I think I said in my review, I did not expect this to be one of the best gaming experiences I had this year, but it absolutely is one of the best. Especially if you love puzzle style games such as Portal 2, that it's very heavily
Yeah.
inspired by that type of game. The premise is you are a character named Arya. You wake up alone on the moon on this research facility, and you get an AI companion. Her name's Astra. She's hilarious. She cracks me up the entire game. And you have to solve puzzles to gather entropy energy to rewind time, or rewind the earth. You're not rewinding time, you're rewinding objects to previous points. So you have to rewind the earth to save it from cataclysmic events. And the puzzles are just so much fun. Like, genuinely, they're a lot of fun. You have different types of cubes. Ones can make bridges, some shoot lasers, some are bounce pads, and what is going on? Squishmallows,
My wife
Pringles.
just came back from the grocery store and she's handing me a bunch of stuff right now. She got a little squishmallow. Look at this guy.
It's cute. It's cute.
Yes. Sorry to interrupt, but she's just
No.
handing me stuff.
It's all right. It's all right. I was just like, I couldn't let it slide by. So this game, though, like, the puzzles start off in a very, here's the new mechanic. It tells you new puzzle mechanic introduction. And it's like bridge cubes. It's like put a cube down to make a bridge. And then it starts off very simple puzzles, and there's like 5 or 6 puzzles in each act. So really not that long, especially because I'd say, especially in the early chapters, you're probably going to blow through those, like maybe 5 minutes a puzzle. But then as you get more complicated, they obviously build upon earlier. So like, hey, we remember this mechanic from earlier stuff. We're gonna combine it with the new one to make a little more complicated puzzle. I don't ever think the puzzles get like bash your head against the wall hard, and I definitely think I solved some of the puzzles. I'm like, the developer definitely did not mean for me to solve it this way because I was exploiting some of the like game mechanics. I remember one of the last puzzles I did, I couldn't figure it out. I was like, I need somehow to get a jump pad up there. So what I did was I had two jump pads. So I bounced the other jump pad on the jump pad, and then when it was in the air, I grabbed it, and I was like, "This is definitely not what you're supposed to do,"
You
but I
see,
don't know how.
that's the beauty though of these sandbox type games, whether it be a puzzle game or a platformer, is that you as the player have so much freedom to sort of break the game. And I love it that developers don't really restrict you in that sense. So it sounds like that this game was developed very well because I
I
love it that you have physics that you can kind of break and find
mhm.
different ways to get through a puzzle. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, for sure, and I would say this game allows for not over not a crazy amount of exploration because most of them it's like, okay, that's probably how they intended me to solve it,
Right.
because a lot of it is like you need switches activated to move on. But there were times where I was like, I'm walking on like the edge of like the geometry, and I was like,
Yes.
they didn't mean for me to be out here, but it's what we're doing. So yeah, a lot of fun. Highly recommend. It's out now on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. It is $25 for. It took me 9.5 hours. Highly recommend.
That
Very
sounds
well
worth
worth
it.
the price. Yeah, worth the price for sure. Especially if you like those style of games. So, yeah,
That
super
looks like
super
a
high on it.
speedrunner's dream too. That game's gonna get some speedrunning
Mm,
community stuff going on. I can't wait to see that. It's really cool.
I bet for sure. Because some of the, I just want to see like some of the weird ways people get through puzzles. Because I was watching some other reviewers, and I was like, that is not what I did. I do not
That is
know.
not what I did.
I don't know if they're just like doing things to record it, but that is not how you got through that puzzle, as
That's
far as I
funny.
know. Yeah, no, really, really good story though. Some heartwarming moments, some good twists. The story is told in between the puzzles as you're like walking through the. There's no cut scenes or like it's an indie game, right? So you're gonna
Yeah.
get a lot of like narrative explanations. But really good voice acting, really good dialogue. I really enjoyed the game.
So what did you say the name of that sort of overseer was? The one that talks to you as you're playing the game?
The
Said the name.
AI.
Yeah, the AI.
So the AI in your gun is named Astra.
Astra. How would you compare Astra to like GLaDOS? Is GLaDOS sort of the benchmark here? Like, is that kind of how she is,
I mean,
or
I assume that's what most people will compare
right?
the game because it is like a human and an AI companion.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, I personally, I like this game more than say a Portal. Like Portal,
Mm.
it didn't really ever do it for me. Maybe I connect with like I think the character's funny. Like I think that's really what
So there is
endeared.
some comedy beats in
Oh,
this, like
lots
Portal.
of comedy.
Good
Like
stuff. Yeah.
one of her jokes was she just randomly, you walk into a room, she's like, "Did you know that cats purring lower their heart rate by 15%?" And she's like, "Why are you telling me this?" He's like, "In your employee profile, you're subscribed to Cat Facts." And I was like, "What?" And then she's like, "Why am I subscribed to that?" He's like, "Do you want me to unsubscribe?" And she's like, "No,
No.
no." I'm like, it just cracked me
That's
up. Like
funny.
it's just a silly little interaction, and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, yeah."
This game really does seem like a big love letter to Portal, and that makes me so happy because it deserves that. We've seen a lot of games recently be kind of like love letters to its sort of creative like inspirations, and I really enjoy those
and
type of games.
it's not a clone. That's what I like about it. It
Hmm.
isn't it's inspired, but it's a very much its own thing, and
Right.
it has things sets apart. It's reviewing very well. I'm happy to see that
Good.
because like whenever I have a review, and we don't grade things here, we recommend or don't recommend
Yeah.
games, but I was very much like waiting for the reviews because I'm like, if I'm the only one that thought this game was phenomenal, I'm gonna feel really weird, and then I wasn't. So luckily, everyone else
You
seemed to
should be
really like
used
it.
to that by now.
Yeah.
Hating games that are universally loved and loving games that are universally hated. That's the Kevin like way of doing things.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if God of War Ragnarok isn't amazing. All
Oh,
right.
if you
I
say
will be
God of
the
War is
I will
bad.
be the first. I'll be the first one to let you know. All right.
Oh no.
All right. Well, we can move on, Ethan. So have a seat while I grab some books from the library and tell you this week's stories. Story number one. I titled it "Onoma is No More." Announced by Jason Schreier on Twitter, Onoma, formerly known as Square Enix Montreal, is shutting down 3 weeks after changing their name and officially being acquired by Embracer Group. As reported by Schreier, quote, Onoma was part of the acquisition that saw Embracer take control of Eidos Montreal and the Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, and Legacy of Kain franchises. The company informed staff at 2 p.m. Eastern in a meeting today that Onoma is shutting down as the company pivots to focus only on PC and console. There's another part to the story I want to get to, but first reaction to Onoma shutting down.
Yeah, obviously any studio shutting down, it happens, but it sucks because people lose their jobs and they're out of work and they got to figure out what to do with themselves. But that's the nature of business, of capitalism, of work. Sometimes you lose your job, but it does suck anytime. But I think what hurts more in this situation is that the fact that they went through so much trouble of renaming the studio, and like there was a lot of employee sort of participation in the renaming process. I think internally they probably felt like, yeah, we're going to keep being a studio. We're going to stay here, and we're now just going to be owned by Embracer Group. So I can imagine their mentality within that studio being like, God, it's a fresh start away from the Square Enix parent company. We're Onoma now. We're our own thing. This is exciting. And then 2 weeks later, you get the email in your inbox. Like, we're done. Like, I can just imagine how crushing that is, going from a high of like, oh, we got new bosses, we got new heights, we got new things to do, we got a big financial backer now, we're excited, just to being plunged down into the depths. That just really sucks for this team, and I feel bad, and
Mhm.
I can imagine how heartbreaking that is for everyone there.
And it's something we haven't seen out of Embracer very much. They're known for acquiring everything, letting the teams
Yeah.
work, putting out tons of AA style games. They're not known for shutting studios down. So this
Yeah.
this came as a big surprise, especially because they said they were just acquired. They did just change their name. They probably thought the future was bright. And now
Hmm.
some of the team members are moving over to other studios. I do believe it said about 200 people are losing their jobs though,
Oof.
which is rough for sure,
Yeah.
especially because they went through a lot, with the whole merger acquisition or
Hmm.
acquisition, I should say merger, but it it becomes very apparent in their statement because Embracer wants to focus on PC and console, and this was a primarily mobile studio.
Right.
They made mobile games. I think they made Hitman Go, Lara Croft Go, and those games did come to, I think, PlayStation 4, I want to say, but they
Mm.
were primarily a mobile studio. And if that doesn't fit in Embracer's plans, then it really is no need for that studio. I completely
Right.
understand from a business perspective
Hmm.
why. Could they have simply been like, you're going to make console PC games now? I don't see why that isn't an option. We heard Phil Spencer recently talk about how PC developers are different from console or from mobile developers. So maybe there is something there where it's like, excuse me, they don't have the tool set
Right.
needed.
Yeah, you would have to probably retrain a whole staff in order to make completely different. And to be fair too, maybe that staff doesn't want to make console and PC games. Maybe they're comfortable in the mobile market. That's
Mhm.
why they're working there in the first place. So I mean, who knows what kind of decision making that would have taken. But yeah, it's sad either way. It really is.
I mean, luckily they're in a very dense spot
Oh, Montreal,
for game developers. So
Ubisoft's right there.
I think they'll be okay. I don't
Hmm.
think they're going to be out of work long, especially like game developers are in demand right now.
Oh yeah,
So they should be okay. It just
especially mobile game developers.
it's weird to see. It's a very very interesting mood from Embracer. But I
And
have
it
a go.
No, I was gonna say it raises the question of why it was in the deal in the first place, because I'm assuming this deal also involved other assets, not just Onoma or Square Enix Montreal or whatever you wanted to call it. And I wonder if it was just Square Enix trying to offload them, just being like, we don't really want this anymore. We'll just throw this in as the bundle, and Embracer going, I don't want this stuff.
I
Just
I
close it.
think it I think it was very much selling their because only their Western studios were
Right.
sold. They sold Square Enix Montreal or Onoma, Eidos
Hmm.
Montreal, and then Crystal Dynamics. So
Yeah.
it was very much we're getting rid of this. It's either take it all and these IPs, or you
Yeah.
probably like we'll find someone else.
Yeah, that's true. I would have taken that deal too if I'm Embracer. That's a smart move.
Yeah. So there was another the words. There was another part to this story, and that is Eidos Montreal is apparently working on Fable. In the same report from Jason Schreier, he says, quote, Eidos Montreal, which remains intact, canceled the Stranger Things inspired, quote, Kids on Bikes game that was rumored recently and is now working on one, a new IP that's been recently rescoped, two, a new Deus Ex game, which is very, very early in development, and three, their co-dev partnerships with Xbox, including Fable. So this is super interesting because this is the
Hmm.
first confirmation we've gotten that another team besides Playground is working on Fable. We've known Fable to be long in development by the team over there that made Forza. Everything's going well as far as we understand it. I think Matt Booty confirmed as much a few months ago, but now they're bringing in Eidos Montreal to help get it off the ground. What do you make of this?
It's cool. Eidos Montreal is a developer that I really enjoy their games. Obviously, we had Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy last year, which was one of my games of the year. They're incredibly good at making it. They had Shadow of the Tomb Raider a few years before that, and then going back all the way to like Thief and like all the Deus Ex games that they made. They've been a quality developer for most of their history, making really good third-person sort of narrative adventure games. So to bring them in on this IP, I think that's a really great idea. There's a lot of knowledge over there, a lot of really good development like skills over there that I think Playground could use because obviously, like you said, Playground Games is known for Forza Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they've made. They're a racing studio. They're very good at what they do, but I mean, to switch genres like that can probably be a bit jarring. So, and to phone a friend. I mean, it's a great strategy, and I think this is a great studio to reach out to and get some help. These are two studios I think that are really good at their job, and I trust them. And I think we're going to get a good Fable game out of this. And then the new game, obviously, you're always interested in a new IP. Let's see what it is. There's nothing really to talk about now because we don't know the details. And then a new Deus Ex game. Deus Ex is a game series that a lot of people have been waiting for a new installment. I think the last one was 2017 with Mankind Divided, if I'm remembering right.
Yep, Mankind Divided 2016.
Mankind Divided 2016. Okay.
12 million copies.
Wow. Yeah. It's a popular IP. A lot of people have been waiting for a new game. So that's cool. So it looks like Eidos Montreal is sort of spreading their wings a little bit. Getting out there and mingling and making some cool new games for us now that they're out of the shadow of Square Enix. So I'm really happy for them.
Yeah, I don't have much to say on Deus Ex. I haven't played any of them, so I can't comment. I did not know it was as popular as collectively between Mankind Divided and
Yeah.
another one too. Um, Ghostly March in the chat says, "I never asked for this." Only quote I know from that series, which I would agree. But new IP, cool. I think Embracer is already showing that when they said, "Hey, we're going to bring back these old IPs that we acquired," they're already putting their money where their mouth is, right? Like new
Yep.
Deus Ex already. We saw
Hmm.
a survey go out about Legacy of Kain, so that's clearly like
Oh,
probably going to come
yeah.
back at some point. So they're already showing initiative here. I think their partnership with Xbox is super interesting because it's not the only team. We know Crystal Dynamics, another team acquired by Embracer,
Hmm.
is working on Perfect Dark with the initiative. So it's weird because I've seen a lot of speculation and I saw some people claiming Embracer is just keeping the studios warm for Microsoft. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense because
No.
why would Microsoft care about these studios without the IP? And there's no way Embracer is selling the IP that they just got.
That's Embracer's game is accumulation of
Yeah.
assets. They're not about to offload IP or like right now. They're buying right now. Embracer
Yeah.
is going to continue to buy for years, guaranteed.
So no, I don't think they're keeping the studios warm for Xbox. They bought these studios to make games for them, and these
Right.
are IPs that people want. These are devs that worked with it. So in my eyes, it doesn't make any sense. They're clearly just getting more money from some of their bigger development teams to help
Hmm.
Xbox with. They clearly have a good working relationship with Xbox, so why not leverage it? Because newsflash, guys, studios work on tons of games together.
Yeah,
This
they do.
isn't an uncommon thing.
And we also got to remember too that it could have been existing deals that Xbox had with Square Enix, and it could be contractual obligations just following through
Mhm.
the purchase, kind of like how we're seeing some of Xbox's studios release exclusive to PlayStation, like Deathloop. Like that thing that happens all the time when you have contractual obligations, you got to follow through on it. So maybe there was a deal with Square Enix a couple years ago or something, back when those studios were still under their banner saying, hey, we're going to need some help developing these
On
games. And they're
table,
like,
yeah.
cool, yeah, let's go. So they're probably just following through on those.
Yeah, if you look a good example, if you go look at God of War Ragnarok, there's like 9 studios listed that worked on that game.
Wow,
All
really?
right? So, it's just a very common
Yeah.
practice.
Even if it's
Yeah.
just for like sound design here and there, or like
Yep.
a couple extra stuff, like it doesn't have to be major development of the game. It's just little stuff.
Yeah, Arkwing brought up the same point I did about studios just working. It's so very common.
Yeah.
Eric, welcome. Game Positive in the chat says a lot of Crystal Dynamics IDOS plans likely got reset after they got acquired, while new projects form. It makes sense to contract out these big dev teams to Microsoft while it gets resolved.
It is extra
100%.
money too. Yeah. I mean, if you contract that, Embracer wants the money. They want to reinvest that money into IPs that they can build up and release games. So it makes sense to work with big hitters like Sony or an Xbox just to make some extra spending cash for your own studios.
Yep. I will continue to be excited for Fable, one of my favorite Xbox franchises. So
Oh, that's
I'm
gonna be
looking
a big
forward to it.
day, Kevin. Oh, I'm so excited.
Cannot wait. But we can move on to story number 2. Modern Warfare 2 has had a huge launch, guys. So Activision Blizzard announced the recently released Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I put remake here, but you tell me it's not a remake. So reimagining has generated $800 million in sales within the first 3 days of launch.
Good Lord.
This makes it the highest earning opening weekend for a Call of Duty game ever.
Wow. 800 million. And you wonder why it costs Xbox, what is it, 57 billion?
$69 billion.
$69 billion to buy Activision Blizzard, and this is just one of their IPs, Call of Duty. This almost, I
That's
guarantee you, it's
3
gonna be,
days.
it's gonna be over probably 2 billion. I would say 2 to 2.5 billion dollars in sales, and it's probably influxing a lot of people in the Warzone who are going to start buying battle passes and skins and all that stuff. I mean, this is just printing money, and it's awesome because I think the reason why it's having so much success is it's doing exactly what I'm doing. It's bringing back those old players that sort of have just fallen off of Call of Duty and said, I don't want to deal with it anymore. The yearly releases, the games suck. They don't pay enough attention to campaign. This game, they came back. They had the name that invoked nostalgia in so many of the old Call of Duty players, and they delivered with a good experience, both in campaign and in multiplayer. So you still have that new blood coming in that are getting those yearly Call of Duty releases, and you're bringing back a lot of those older players that fell off a decade ago. And I think that's what Modern Warfare 2 is doing so well. And I got to tell you, it's been a blast. I'm playing the hell out of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I'm back in it. They deserve all this success because this is a quality video game. I know we've laughed at Call of Duty for, it feels like, the better half of the last decade, about their junk games, and like this is just shovelware. They're just kind of giving us the same experience every single year. But this one feels different. This one feels good in my hands. The gameplay feels good. The multiplayer feels good. The campaign feels good. Everything feels good about this game, and I'm really, really happy that it's kind of coming back to its roots, and it just feels like a quality Call of Duty title. One thing I will say, we need campaign co-op. I don't know what it is with these damn shooters, Kevin. I tried to play co-op with Garrett the other day, and I can only play single player. Which isn't the worst thing in the world, but I love campaign co-op, and I don't know why that's sort of a a feature that we've lost in
Has Call of Duty
2022.
had campaign co-op? I've never
I
played Call of
believe
Duty
so.
campaign co-op.
I want to say it did. I feel like I remember playing it. Again, I've been out of it for a decade, so maybe my memory's fuzzy. If anyone in the chat wants to hit us up, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1. Do you guys remember if that campaign was co-op or not? I can't remember.
I don't think they were, because I
Or am I tripping?
played every Call of Duty I played was single player.
Oh, then it just must have been a decade of brain rot that I forgot. Who knows? I
Arkwing
think
says
it did in Black Ops 3.
think
I
it.
did play Black Ops 3.
So
Hmm.
maybe they added it because I didn't play Black Ops 3.
Either way, with or without campaign co-op, everything about this Call of Duty release is quality. This is a great video game, a great Call of Duty game, and I think it's worth everybody spending $70. This is a triple A premium experience of a first-person shooter. It's absolutely incredible.
Chat coming in here confirming Black Ops 3
Black
was
Ops 3.
the only
Okay.
one that did.
And I definitely played Black Ops 3, so it's possible that that's where I'm getting it from.
Eric, Game Positive in the chat, says it's like more than the top 3 movie opening weekends this year combined, and that's even without selling a battle pass. That's
I think Top Gun Maverick has only pulled in what, like 1.2 billion or something like that right now in the box office.
Crazy, and that's been out for months and months.
It's been out, yeah. It's probably done with its theater run.
It's when I saw this, my first reaction was, "Holy crap, that's a lot of money!" But also, this is why Microsoft wants it also just reaffirms to me what we talked last week about how Phil was like, we're not taking Call of Duty off PlayStation. Right. If you're making almost $1 billion in 3 days opening weekend, you would be insane to remove a large portion of that spending base. It just doesn't make sense financially. In what world are you going to go to the Microsoft CEO and be like, yo, I got this idea, all right? I'm going to lose you about $1 billion. What do you think?
Oh my God.
That cool, Sadia? And he's like,
sound good.
What are you talking about? I just don't want Call of Duty on PlayStation anymore. And he's like, well, what's the reason? If they're bringing in $1 billion,
because fuck those Sony ponies.
Fanboys.
That doesn't make sense. Keep it on every platform. You're making so much money.
It's nonsense. This is crazy. This is a huge launch. This, if I had to predict, I think this will probably go on to be the best-selling Call of Duty. I can't imagine, because I have yet to see anyone say anything bad about it. I saw some people like, oh, IGN only gave it a 6, but everyone I know that has played it said it is fantastic. They like the campaign. They like the multiplayer. It's selling extremely well. I'm not hearing anything bad about this Call of Duty.
Dude, this Call of Duty feels different. You know what I mean? Like, this just feels like I'm transporting back to when I was, what age was I when in 2009, Kevin? I can't do math that quick. I was young. I was probably like in middle school. Like, this is transporting me. I don't know what I was, but this is transporting me back to that, Kevin. I mean, just the amount of fun I'm having jumping on this multiplayer. I mean, this just feels great. And this campaign too. I mean, it was one of the most moving, emotional, exciting, and cinematic campaigns I have ever seen in a first-person shooter, I would say. And overall, this is one of the greatest campaigns of a video game I've ever played. Even, I guess, in terms of a linear game, because this obviously is an open world. There's areas that are really big, but this is a linear sort of campaign experience, and this is one of the better ones I've ever experienced. It's absolutely amazing.
We know the budget for this game.
Oh God, it's in the hundreds of millions, right? Like,
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 has a staggering budget of $250 million. Well, they already made that back and then 4 times as much.
Yeah.
So, crazy. When you're talking AAA,
this is AAA.
You don't get more. Listen, I'm not a Call of Duty guy, but you got to respect it at this point. Like, you got to respect the craziness that is.
You haven't needed to respect it the last few years. I'll absolutely give you that. You have to respect Modern Warfare 2. This is an experience, folks.
Well, if you want to play Call of Duty with Ethan, hit him up. I'm sure he'll be down.
Melheld, the sniper mission, hell yeah. I know exactly what they're talking about. This is the good stuff. The ghillie suits. Oh, it's beautiful.
Great. Looking forward. There's no Call of Duty there's Warzone 2 next year, right? And then
Warzone 2 is already out, or am I crazy?
No way. Warzone 2 release date. Oh, so Call of Duty Warzone 2 will be available November 16th, 2022. Okay, never mind. It's
Oh, it's
coming out
coming out like
coming out
soon.
in a few weeks.
What a perfect time to come out with Warzone 2 when you have this many players jumping into the ecosystem. Holy cow, how much money is this game going to make, Kevin? This is nuts.
Okay. All right. I was gonna say, like, okay, they made their money this year on this one, then they got Warzone, but apparently Warzone 2's this year as well. So more money coming in for Activision Blizzard and then
Nuts.
for Xbox when the deal eventually goes through.
Mhm.
Awesome. Crazy stuff.
Good for those developers. I mean,
Yeah.
the developers that worked on this game, they had to have worked so hard on it because it is such a polished, incredible experience. And I watched the entire credits. I always try and do that for games. I watched the entire credits, and it was heartwarming because they give you like the development babies. You know how a lot of games do that,
Oh
like
yeah,
the
what
children
babies were
born.
yeah.
Yeah, and then at the end they give you like a little postcard of all the characters, and it's just like, thank you for playing our game. And it was just you guys did a great job. Shout out to all the devs out there.
I think they really wanted to knock this one out of the park after last year didn't hit the highs that they
They
expected.
really did. Yeah.
So we can move on to our November Game Pass update number 1. So as we do twice a month here, we let you know what games are coming to Xbox Game Pass so you can plan your gaming accordingly. Available right now, we have The Legend of Tianding, Cloud Console PC, as Ethan was saying in the What You're Playing section. We have The Walking Dead, A New Frontier, and Michonne, the complete season for PC. We have Ghost Song, which is getting phenomenal reviews for Cloud Console PC. November 8th, we have Football Manager 2023 for PC and Football Manager 2023 Console Edition for Cloud Console PC. We have Return to Monkey Island for Cloud Console PC. November 10th, we get Vampire Survivors for console. November 15th, we get Pentiment for Cloud Console PC and Somerville for console and PC. So, Ethan, any of these games, well, I already know one you're playing, but any of those other games piquing your interest?
Yeah, there's a ton on this list that I'm excited for. Obviously, like I said, The Legend of Tianding, I'm having a blast with that. Ghost Song looks like a really fun Metroidvania that I want to jump into and give that a shot. Return to Monkey Island, I keep hearing nothing but amazing things about it from everyone. I know it's one of those old school games that's a point and click adventure. It would be cool. I know it's probably meant to be played on PC, so if anything, I'll probably play it on my PC Game Pass because it is a point and click adventure. It's the whole point of it. Vampire Survivors obviously blew up on the Steam early, or I think it's Steam Greenlight, right? That really blew up not too long ago. I've heard nothing but good things about that. I probably won't play it because it's multiplayer only, I believe. Pentiment is something I've had my eye on for a while. It looks unique. It looks interesting. At first, I kind of dismissed it, but after playing As Dusk Falls, I have tried to completely get rid of like my predisposition towards like not wanting to go into new art styles and stuff like that because I went into As Dusk Falls completely like this is going to be weird. I'm not going to like it. And it turned out to be one of the greatest games I played all year. So Pentiment, I'm really excited for. I love Obsidian. I'm a big fan of that development studio. So I think they're going to put out a quality product. And then Somerville, I've heard a lot of people talking about that. I haven't seen anything about it. Like I completely don't know what this is. But I keep hearing people saying like this is a big deal. So I don't know what it's about. I'm going to probably look into this more and see what kind of game this is.
Well, Ethan, lucky
Yes.
for you. First of all, correction: Vampire Survivors is single player.
Oh, it is. Okay,
Yes,
then that changes the game.
it's a roguelike shoot 'em up video game. It's
Okay.
I think it's an auto battler. So you automatically
Oh, never mind.
it automatically attacks for you. I think you
That's
just
not
move
fun.
the sprite. It's getting tons of the reviews are overwhelmingly positive. It's crazy.
Okay. I mean, it's on Game Pass. That's the thing. I'm gonna check it out. You know, I'm trying to get more into these smaller indie game experiences because I want to show some love to those indie developers out there because they're killing it this year, Kevin. Carrying the console markets because nobody's putting out first party games. It feels like. So I'm excited.
And then your other question, Somerville. Is an upcoming video game and the debut title from
Oh,
independent
really?
studio Jump Ship. However, the studio's co-founder previously co-founded Playdead, which was a studio behind Limbo and Inside.
Ooh, oh, my heart's fluttering right now.
So
Limbo and
if you like
Inside.
Limbo and
Oh,
Inside,
stop. You're not telling me this. This is going to be another Limbo or Inside type game? Oh, I need to check my pulse, Kevin. I might have a heart attack right here live on Project XTalk. Oh, I'm so excited right now.
I'm glad you're excited because I don't care for Limbo or Inside.
Fair enough. I understand. You not
It's not
caring,
for me.
trust me.
Just not for. I know Amon
Exactly.
was
Yeah.
really. I think Amon was really high when he saw this one at the Xbox showcase. Pentiment is a maybe for me. I might wait for reviews. The art style really puts me off. Also,
Yeah.
I'm not sure on how excited, like how much I'm going to be into the actual game. Um, there's not really much here for me. Honestly, the most hype thing here for me is Football Manager 2023
I
console
figured you'd
edition.
talk about
Uh,
that.
because it's just I played 2022 a little bit. It was one of those games where it's like, okay, there's nothing out right now. It's a dead period. I'm gonna download it, and then I'll make my team and play it, like simulate a few games. But after a few hours, it does become like spreadsheet manager, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, it's
That's
time
your
to.
job. That's what you do for
Yeah,
a
it's time.
living. So.
It's time to put this down. But it can be fun for a kickabout here and then. But I have no interest to return to Monkey Island. I'm sorry. Like I know everyone likes it. I know it's a big deal, but point and click
Yeah.
games are not for me.
That's a boomer game, Kevin. Not everyone. It's not for everyone.
Yeah, luckily God of War Ragnarok comes out next week, so I don't need to have a Game Pass.
Oh,
I will be on my PS5 has not been on in like weeks, and now it's going to be on
gonna be
for
on
the
for a
next
while.
couple weeks. All
We're
right,
excited
so,
for that over here on Save the Game
yes,
Media for
yes.
sure.
You can never accuse us of being fanboys on
No,
this
we're excited
network.
about God of
Okay,
War.
we'll play everything. And then Evil Dead is or Evil West, not Evil Dead. Evil West
Evil
is coming
West.
out in a few weeks too, and I'm going to get that on Xbox. Play co-op. Been putting out trailers. It looks so good.
It really does, Kevin. I'm really excited about Evil West. I've been excited about it since I heard about it, and I've been just waiting, salivating for this game.
Focus doesn't let me down with the games they're publishing. We got
They really don't.
I will just say, speaking of that, Atomic Heart got a release date, February 21st, 2023.
So I remember reading a story about how somebody went into like the what's it called?
The date,
the
yeah, it
data
was
of the
officially
YouTube video.
confirmed though. It
So it
was
was
officially,
officially confirmed.
yes, they
Okay.
officially announced it.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
Really excited for that one as well.
yeah.
That's a Game Pass game right there, day and date.
So that'll come out a day before PlayStation VR 2, I believe. So you can either grab that or you can save.
You can
your
either
money.
spend $700 or $15 a month.
What are you gonna do?
Just kidding. That'll be a good VR headset, but I ain't paying. It's not worth the value right now. Like VR games, I need more if I'm gonna spend $700.
Wow, we can move on. Last two stories here. EA and Marvel have struck another deal. So, officially announced by Marvel Games, they have entered into a multi-title collaboration with EA or Electronic Arts to develop action adventure games for consoles and PC. The first game is the already announced Iron Man, with two more set to follow. So, before I pass the review, I just want to get my thoughts out of the way. We talked about Iron Man a few weeks, months ago, times a circle. Who knows? And I said like Iron Man's my favorite Marvel hero. I'm super excited to see what they can do. I hope this is like the first real superhero game, like single player that I'm all in on. Because like I like Spider-Man, but like I haven't played the games and I don't really feel like I need to. That's my brother loves Spider-Man. That's his favorite. Like he's over there doing his thing. But Iron Man for me, I want to be that game. I know people love the Arkham series. Again, not one I really particularly, I'm not drawn to it. So what I want out of this deal is to see characters we don't see all the time. All right. Don't go to the Avengers and just pick like who else are we got. Give me some more like B tier, C tier Marvel heroes. Some
Like
lower.
some of the characters that are in Midnight Suns type of energy.
I would love first of all, I would love a Blade game. All
Yeah,
right. Blade would
cool.
be dope. But like I said Doctor Strange. I think that would be cool. I think Doctor Strange could have a cool game.
Has he ever been in a video game? I'm trying to think back right now.
Ryan Turford yesterday on the Xbox Drive, which I was on the Xbox Drive yesterday. Shout out
Go check it
Carpool
out.
Gaming and go check that out. He told me the last playable game for Doctor Strange was Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Wow.
So it's been a while.
Yeah. Since I grew up. I love
Hold
that
on.
song, dude. I love
So yeah, Ultimate Alliance was Ghostly March confirms in the chat. But yeah, no, I'm glad Disney did not give them another. You get this for 10 years exclusive like they did with Star Wars.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think this like exclusive to a single developer ever really works because what if they're bad? You know what I'm saying? Like EA obviously had its troubles with Star Wars at the beginning, but I gotta say EA as a development or a publisher, I guess I should say, because they have a lot of stuff under their banner. EA as a publisher and as a company have kind of turned around for me. Like I used to be one of those guys that was like, EA sucks. They're the worst people in the industry. They don't know what fans want. They make crappy games. They just want to suck money out of you. But I mean, they've been making some really quality video games recently, especially single player experiences. When we're talking about like Jedi Fallen Order, one of the best I guess I could even argue the best. No, it's not better than Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I refuse to say that. It's one of the best Star Wars experience in video games I've ever had. And then we got Jedi. Oh God, I forgot the name of the second one. Let's just say Fallen Order 2 coming out soon. Survivor, correct. That I'm really excited about. Star Wars Squadrons came out as well, which was a really quality sort of fighter game. Fighter as in like TIE fighters and X-Wings and all that stuff, like
Not
airplane
like
game.
Punch.
Yeah, no, not like punch you
Kick.
in the face game. But EA has been making a lot of really quality single player games, and I really do trust them with a Marvel IP. I think they could really do a good job at this. And obviously, I've seen this everywhere that the flying mechanics of Iron Man is that's what they've really got to nail. And obviously, everyone keeps saying I never played it, but people say Anthem is where they nailed flying mechanics. So I keep hearing about people saying like, oh, EA needs to take those flying mechanics from Anthem, port it into an Iron Man game, and build the game from that. So either way, I kind of trust them with this. I say kind of, but I do. I think they're going to make some quality video games with this, and I'm excited to see what they do. So EA, shout out to you guys. I'm ready for some Marvel experiences from you.
Hopefully they nail it. And I think this is supposed to be story number 5, but who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, no, it looks right. Okay. We can go to our actual story number 5, because not really much more to say on that. We gotta wait to see what they announce.
Yep.
Square Enix has announced an NFT game. Square Enix today has announced a new scam. Sorry, I mean game. A franchise built around NFTs or non-fungible tokens, called symbiogenesis.
Word soup.
In what world, Square Enix? In what world? It's the first digital collectible art project designed from the ground up for Web3 fans. Sorry, art project caught me off guard there. Set in a self-contained world where a wide cast of characters symbiosis. What does that mean? All of which can be collected as digital art. Square says it will offer, quote, an interactive story and a dedicated community, and that the art collected by players can be used as a character in the story that takes place in an alternate world where the player can untangle a mystery by completing missions that revolve around questions of the monopolization and distribution of resources. Who wrote this?
What is happening? Okay.
Scheduled for spring 2023. It'll come with a free browser service, and you can use the art as social media profile pictures.
Oh, Kevin, where do we begin with this story? So in preparation for trying to come up with a response to the story, I went and looked at Ubisoft Quartz if you remember Ubisoft Quartz, it was a attempt by Ubisoft to jump into the NFT market using Tom Clancy's The Division, something like that. One of those Tom Clancy games that he's rolling in his grave right now, wondering why the hell his name's attached to this stuff. And they released it in, I think, December of 2021. They came out with some new skins of guns, and they haven't updated it since March of this year. So it died fairly quickly. Nobody was really interacting with the platform. They haven't added any other games to it besides that Tom Clancy game, and it seems like it's completely dead in the water. The website is pretty much dead. It hasn't been updated since March. Everything still looks like it was just last done in March. So I don't see this going anywhere, because this is obviously not what we want in the community. This is not what consumers want. This is NFTs and cryptocurrency and this sort of thing is a very niche market. There's a certain group of people that you want to target with this sort of advertising and this sort of experience, and they're not sort of intertwined with the gaming community. At least I don't think. I don't think anybody's excited about this. This is not going to sell. I don't know what they're thinking. This continues with the trend of, I think at the beginning of this year, we talked about a story about how the Square Enix's CEO said something about how they're going to move into the NFT market. Do you remember that?
Yeah. They've been very vocal about how they think there's
Right.
opportunity here. How some players want to play to earn, or what, some nonsense about
it was
how
bad.
he
Yeah.
thinks there's a market out there for players to grind. They want to grind away and do this and earn money. I'm like, oh, get out of here.
Yeah. This is not gonna work. Symbiogenesis. What is that? That's a ridiculous name. But this is gonna be a bad move by Square Enix. I expect this to completely go the same way that Ubisoft Quartz. Now, the difference between the two, right, is Ubisoft Quartz was something that you got cosmetics for an
Yeah.
already existing game, and they were planning on adding more games to the
Mhm.
service. Obviously, they didn't do that because it failed so miserably. Thank God. This isn't like a
A
game. Like
game.
it's a game involving NFTs. I have no idea how this is going to work. I can't imagine anybody actually purchasing this that is like an NFT bro. That isn't an NFT bro, I guess I should say. I don't see any regular consumer buying this and expecting a good experience out of it. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's weird.
But what if you want to use them as profile pictures on social media?
Oh God, stop.
First of all, whoever wrote the press briefing that I just read, what awful. I felt like it was a giant
really
run-on
bad.
sentence full of just words that mean nothing.
It's really bad.
I still don't know what this is. Except
Yeah,
for the
what's the
fact that
gameplay?
it's all I know is it's an art project.
Art project, really?
And it's an interactive story. We're gonna untangle the mysteries about monopolization and distribution. Like, it
What
doesn't
does
even,
that
you're
even
just
mean?
saying words, Square. There's nothing in here that tells me what this actually is, besides the fact that you're going to give us pictures and tell us they're worth something. Like, I'm very much against the NFT
Oh yeah.
the whole thing. Like, I think it's a scam. I'm not even in on cryptocurrency. Like, I don't think I
Listen, these
people can tell me the cryptocurrency is the future. I don't believe you. I will wait to see. All right, but
99% of NFTs and cryptocurrencies target people who are desperate. And that's what all these rug pulls are they're targeting people who are desperate that want money, and they're taking advantage of their desperation, and then they're basically screwing them over and trying to take what last little bit of money they have. Most of it's a scam. It's garbage. There's no reason to get involved in it, and it doesn't belong in video games. I listen, I know we were up in arms about microtransactions back in the early 2010s. Eventually, us as gamers kind of just accepted that. This is not something we can accept. We have to
no.
continue basically saying or protesting with our wallets that this is not what we want in gaming. We can't have this. This is ridiculous. This is stupid. This is predatory towards people who are unfortunate. And it shouldn't belong in any video game. and it's ridiculous. Put your resources towards actual video games. That's what we want.
But what if does it belong in an art project though?
You can make an art game without being NFTs. Like, I don't know.
I can't with this Square. You do so much I love, and then you also do stupid crap like this.
Square is such a crazy company.
Yeah, you want to invest in Dogecoin, 13 cents per
I actually
Doge.
made money off of Dogecoin, so I can't say nothing
That's
about
the most
that.
ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Square Enix, stop what you're doing right now. Get help. All right? Stop it.
Get some help.
Get help. Ethan, that's gonna do it for our show today because
Nice.
I have nothing more to say on NFTs. It's garbage. Thanks everyone for coming by, watching. If you missed it, make sure to check out Extra Life 2022. Me and Taylor, Trophy Room, Carpool Gaming. We're all going to Rome, New York tomorrow. We're gonna be there all weekend. 25-hour live stream. As I said, donate, win awesome prizes, save kids. That's all I got. All right. So Ethan, where can people find you?
Discord. Come to the Discord. Chat it up with us.
I miss when you had Twitter.
Yeah, I know.
When you had Twitter. You're missing Elon. All right. It's a new era.
Hey, he's doing his thing. I didn't leave. By the way, I just want to make this clear. I didn't leave because of him. I don't want to seem like a virtue signaler.
Ethan came to me. He's like, I can't be on this platform now that Elon.
No.
$8 for my verification. Yeah, right.
Yeah, because I was verified before that, right, Kevin? No, social media is garbage to me. That's why I left. It's not because of Elon.
And you can find me at the Muffin Monster 107I and 07A on Twitter. You can also find us at Save Game Media. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button. Share it to all your friends. Until next week, we'll see you. Goodbye.